Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Capital A Trading and welcome to my Forex Weekly. So it's just that weekly Sunday video where I'm bringing you the best investment opportunities, letting you know what I'm going to do. Then obviously, hopefully you can copy that, catch some profits yourself. So if that sounds good, if you take trades, if you take investments yourself, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Stay up to date with the channel. Keep track of what's going on over here. There's been quite some success lately. Again, a quick shout out to the Absolutely magazine. Thank you for everything that you guys have done. And again, go check that magazine out. It's a really cool magazine available now nationwide in all Waitrose and M&S stores. With that being said, let's get into the charts. And of course, let's check them fundamentals. Okay, guys. So first up, what you should do at the start of your week, for any successful trader will tell you this, it's always good to keep an eye out for the fundamentals. Keep an eye out what's going to happen, what may fuel a trade at a certain point of the week. So what I want to make aware for you this week is that there's not much news, but there's two important ones that I want us to look out for. And it will start from Wednesday, and it's going to be surrounding the Canadian dollar. They've got their interest rate decision at 3 o'clock, which is an hour before the London close, funny enough. So we'll be able to spot something happen at that time on that day. And then hopefully maybe later in the week, around Thursday or Friday, we'll get a retest off that area. So basically what I'm saying is I'm going to watch them manipulate the market at that time, see what kind of picture they leave, and then see how we can trade it for the remainder of the week. So that'll be the Canadian dollar. Look out for what I mentioned in the trades coming up. And of course, the next one for me is going to be the euro. They've got their interest rate decision the next day, 15 minutes before the New York Open. So again, it'll be about watching the mark that's left there and then seeing how we can trade it maybe in the later part of the week. So the main two things are going to be the euro and the Canadian dollar. There is a G7 meeting this week surrounding the euro. That's going to be on Friday. I'm not sure how much that's going to affect the markets, but again, I'll be watching to see what's going to happen. So again, just be aware of your fundamentals before you start placing any trades throughout the week. That way you'll know what's fueling it at what time. Again, that's the fundamentals. Now let's get into the charts. Okay, guys, so as always, I'm going to start with the gold pairs. Now, last week, I mentioned that there's going to be a sell around this area. We got that big push, I think it was on Thursday. And then Friday, we're starting to push back towards the area. So just looking at it now, if I come down to a 4 hour, this is the gold euro, remember. It's easy to say that there's a possible sell around this area, around the 1560 to the 1565 mark. However, I feel like there's going to be a lot of traders that are kind of thinking in a similar way. And that's something you don't want to do in this game. So what I would suggest this week is just let it come a little bit higher. I'm going to see what happens when it actually gets up into my box. So if you look at the daily picture here, we just stayed below it and we had our push. We're now just sitting here now. So let's see what's going to happen. I'm going to say keep an eye out for the 1580 on the gold euro. Moving to the gold USD, it's the same picture, very similar. I want to see price inside the blue box. I want to see what it's going to do up there. So again, this would be looking out for the 1935 to the 1940 mark. So again, let them come to you. Don't be too hasty with these. Gold can be very volatile. So again, let it come to you. I'm waiting for price to just come a little bit higher. And then later in the week, what we usually see is that that's where the strength comes against the gold. So maybe around Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to get another push, but let's see price go higher first. So that's the gold euro and the gold USD. Okay, guys, I haven't done this one for ages. It's a quick update on the US 30. You're going to get a quick lesson here as well. So I just wanted to show you that around this time here, it was November 2016. This is when Donald Trump was appointed into presidency of the United States of America. So price rises up. So this is what they do. The rich people, they stick together. They place their money in a bond, which is this, and price rises and rises up. So then coronavirus comes around. Now what you'll notice, price shoots down all of a sudden very violently in 2020. Price shoots down back to the same level where Donald Trump joined power. And as you can see, price has risen higher. So I have got something to show you on this. And what I just want to basically say is, look, this does rise, and it, as you can see, has continuously rose for many years, apart from that coronavirus drop. So just looking at it this week, what I've seen is I like the way that this area has been manipulated around the 3,500 level. Let's call it 34,900, 3,500 to be precise. I just want to see if we're going to get a small sell push to at least come back down towards this 33,600 level. Now on the US 30, it will be a very powerful move. And this is something that I want you to watch out for this week. It can be very profitable. So keep an eye on it. It's the US 30. It's around the 3,500 to the 34,900 mark. Just a quick update for Bitcoin. I know a few of my students are involved with this. I know a few people are. I still think it's coming lower. Okay, so I mentioned that sell from the 60,000 mark pulled off perfectly. And now what it's kind of doing is it's in a holding area. So it's in a holding pattern. Right now it's just sitting, basically it's hit the 30,000 mark and it's sitting just above that. So I do believe it's eventually going to break through and come actually lower. So just be aware of that on Bitcoin. I haven't actually got a trade to show you right now, but just be aware, these are for my students, that I do believe it will come lower before it starts to make higher moves again. Okay, just a quick update on the UK 100. This is one of my babies. For those of you that follow me, you'll know I trade this quite a lot. And I believe this week we're going to maybe get the action that I want to see. So we've already had some nice pushes, some nice sell pushes from this area around the 7,000 mark. But I still want to see it interact with this level here. That would mean seeing price around the 7,400. So again, I believe we're going to get that push this week early. And then let's see what's going to happen. Maybe later in the week, we're going to get that long-term sell that I've been waiting for. That's the UK 100. Keep an eye out for this. We've been hunting this one down for ages now. So I feel like this may be the week, if not this week, next week, that we're going to get what we've been waiting for. Okay, let's get into the currencies. Next up is the euro pound. Now, for those of you who follow me, I've been annihilating this lately, and I feel like we're going to get another move this week. So again, just pay attention here. It's very bearish. I believe it's heading to the downside and it's got a lot more room to come down. If I just come down to a 4-hour, what I'm expecting to see, as you can see, last week's trade that I called now hit take profit this week. Okay, so again, just showing you the patience. It came all the way near. I left my trade alone. It pulled back up towards the area and then finally goes and hits the take profit. So what I'm trying to explain to you there is you'd see your trade in a, let's say, £100 profit. You'd have to let it go all the way back to say £40 profit before you then go and see the final profit of say 150. So just again, practicing patience. Now this week, all I want you to look out for is very simple. We're in a bearish environment. I'm expecting the price to pull back up. Now be aware, we've got the euro interest rate decision. So I am aware that at any time this week, the euro can power through and head right to the upside. So I'm just going to keep that in mind for the interest rate decision, see what's happening beforehand, and then of course make my decision. But all I'm asking you to do this week on the euro pound, if I just come to a 2-hour, it might look a bit clearer. This is where I can last see the market makers were at, and they've kind of left something there. So keep an eye on the 86,100 to 86,200 mark. I believe if this is going to continue, it may happen from that point. And again, I'll be updating this on the Thursday video, so make sure you catch that as well. That's the euro pound. Okay, guys, next up is the pound USD. Now, I'm looking for strength in the euro pound. So the wise thing here would be to obviously look for strength in the pound, which would make this chart head to the upside. So what I can tell you is that this has just been playing off of the 142 for sell entries and then coming off to the 141 to the 140, let's say 800 mark. And just literally, as you can see, there's been about 3 different buy entries and about 5 or 6 different sell entries. So eventually that's going to break. That sort of where we're trapped now is going to break. And I believe it's going to be to the upside. So all again, I'd say keep an eye out for the 141 this week, maybe 14600. I do want to see it dip a bit lower and then be the big push. So that's probably what I'll look out for. So let's say keep an eye out for the 14600 to the 14400, somewhere in this area here. I believe we're going to get the big push to the upside and hopefully make a new high, reaching up to maybe the 143 level. So keep an eye on that. That's the pound USD. Okay, so next up is the euro USD. Now, if I'm expecting to see strength in the euro pound for the pound, and of course the pound USD seeing strength in the pound, then that would kind of mean that the euro would get weaker. So here, I'd be looking to see a sell. Now, I've been mentioning this 123 level for ages. It's hitting the area quite nicely and showing signs of bearishness, showing signs that we are going to get the big drop. If I just come down to a 4-hour, this candle here stands out to me. So what it is, this area, it says to me that the markets were manipulated there. That's where they finally started to turn it round. And it came back to it. And this is them again having another go, tapping into the area and dropping. So I'm going to watch this candle. It needs to be monitored. It needs to be monitored for a sell. That's the 122.200 to 122.400. We're going to expect a sell push early this week from there, back in the dollar. Now, I am aware that it still can come to the 123 level. So I'm going to keep that in mind as well. I would have a tight stop loss on there. If it goes above that candle, the trade would be invalid to me. So just keep an eye out for that. That's going to be the 122.200, 122.400, potential sell euro USD. Okay, guys, next up was the main focuses from last week, which was the pound AUD and of course the euro AUD. Now, as you can see from this sell area, we've had that push. It came on Friday. So what I want you to look out for this week now, as I just come down to a 4-hour, there's that push and it's heading down towards the 182. So I believe we could get the price pause there, Pound obviously being strong at the start of the week, and then we may get a price push through and take the liquidity above. Now, lots of traders have started to see this area as a sell. So there'll be lots of money that's building up, and I believe the market makers are going to want to go and take that. So I'm kind of keeping two open minds on this one. What I want to suggest, because price is heading this way, is to keep an eye out for this buy. However, if that starts to play out, well, nice. I will be looking at how it comes back up towards that 184 level, and then that may be another sell entry. So again, it's about just keeping open minds. Don't chase the price, let it come to you, and then you can obviously make your decision from there. And it's pretty much the same thing on the Euro AUD. There's the drop down that came on Friday. So again, I'm looking at this area down here around the 156, 300 level. I want to see if price is going to push from there. And again, I'll be kind of doing the same thing, looking at the retest, then back up towards the 158 level, to then hopefully we can ride both ways. So just keep an open mind on it and let's see what happens. Now, remember with this one, we've got the Euro interest rate decision. So what I just mentioned there, this is going to be something I want you to really focus on. Keep an eye on this level. And if price is sitting there around, let's say 2 hours before the Euro interest rate decision, we may get that buy push. So just keep an eye on it. And it's, of course, a nice key number with the 156, 300. So keep an eye on that. That's the Euro AUD and the Pound AUD. Okay, guys, next up is the Pound CAD. Now, again, this is going to be another main focus due to the Canadian interest rate decision. So again, what I'm looking for is to see some strength in the Canadian dollar. So first of all, I want to see it in the pound. Now, what I've been looking at is the way price has just been bouncing off this 170 level, the key number. I believe we're going to get another push from there this week. So what that would then obviously entail the pound getting stronger than the Canadian dollar. What we then want to see is price start to pushing up into this area. I then want to see it at that 173 level. If it's in time with the Canadian interest rate decision, and of course price is sitting there, expect to see a big push from that level there. So we want to see the pound get strong, head towards the 173. The interest rate decision, it'll be 3 o'clock, I believe, on Wednesday. If it's around there at that time, we're going to be looking to take a sell position at the 173 level. That's the Pound CAD. Keep an eye on that. That's going to be one of my main focuses. Okay, guys, next up is the Pound NZD. Now, this was a main focus recently, and we've had some nice moves with their interest rate decisions. So that's kind of what we're looking to see this week with the Euro and the CAD. Again, it looks like this area is playing out well. It's going to be what I believe is going to be the big sell push. I believe price has still got to come back round towards that 191 level. So as you can see, it could be a monstrous move. But just come down to the 4 hour. We've had that push away, and all I'm kind of looking for now is a retest. So yeah, we're going to see the pound hopefully get stronger at the start of the week. I want to see price back up towards that 197, 500 level, and then we're going to go again for even lower areas where I believe it's got to come to. So that's the Pound NZD. The Euro NZD is very similar. We had that move last week from the 170 level. It started to drop. It's come down about 100 pips now, 140 pips to be precise. And again, very similar. I want to see that lonesome blue candle there, price back up to it, and then the retest again. It would probably be, let's say, the 169, 700 level to the 170. So keep an eye on them. Remember, a move with these can happen during the night. So this is for the UK. The New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar, they tend to get stronger around 2 a.m. while we're asleep UK time. So be aware of that. If it's a trade that you can see something happening at night time, just before you're about to go to bed, the trade, you may wake up and you may see the success of it then. So keep an eye on that. That's the Euro NZD and the Pound NZD. Okay, guys, so a bit of a random one for me this week. I don't usually look at this pair, but however, it can be very fitting this week. It's the EURCAD. So this is where obviously the news is at. What I'm expecting to see is just this. I've got a picture on this 1 hour time frame. So all I'm looking to see is the Euro start the week, get strong around that Canadian interest rate decision time. 147, 400 is the mark I'm going to be looking at. I want to see price play off of this level here and then continue down. If that doesn't happen, the trade will become invalid very quickly. So just be aware, this can become like a whipsaw this week. You might see the Euro get strong, shoot up, then the Canadian dollar fly down. So just be aware. I'm kind of looking to trade this pair only because of the fundamentals. That's the EURCAD. Okay, next up is the NZDJPY. This one really tickles my fancy this week. So let me just explain what I'm seeing. We've had a double top over here. For ages, I've known that that was going to get wiped out, and eventually price climbs up, reaches above it, grabs all the liquidity. Looking at it now, I just believe that price is going to continue going higher. So what I've measured is this swing here. I want to see what price is doing. If I just come down to a 4 hour, again, you'll see we're around the 70% retracement. I like this here. I believe this is where the market makers have left their mark. I believe we're going to get a higher push. So just keeping an eye on basically where it's at, the 78,600 to 800 mark. That's where I believe we're going to get the longer term buy push. It may come from a bit lower, around the 78,200. So I'm aware of that as well. And I believe one of these levels are going to provide a new high and a bigger push to the upside. So keep an eye on that. 78,600, 78,200. I'm keeping an eye on both, and I'll be updating on Thursday what I believe is the best option to take. So keep an eye on that as the NZDJPY. Okay, so a quick update on what was a couple of main focuses a couple of weeks ago, and just looking at how they've progressed now, it's been quite a profitable move. So the first one was the NZDUSD. I mentioned this 73 mark. We've had the sell, and just looking at it now coming back down to a 4-hour, you can see the bearish pattern. And I'm just going to look at what price is going to do retesting around the 72,400, 72,600. This may be something that comes later in the week. If you know, the US dollar likes to get stronger, say around Thursday, Friday. So what we'll see for the first 3 days is price just kind of crawling up into these areas, getting ready to take their sell position. And then, of course, you'll see the market makers show their hand. So just keep an eye on that. We're looking to catch them in the act. That's the NZDUSD. The next one is the AUDUSD. Now, as you can see, this one looks a bit clearer, and price has just been moving off of these areas, moving down, moving down. I believe it's going to push a bit higher this week, and then there's going to be a bigger sell opportunity. So what I'm looking out for is this candle here around the 78,400 mark. So keep an eye on that. That's the AUDUSD. Okay, guys, that's all for me this week. I kind of wanted to end a little bit differently. I kind of wanted to expose what I do, and if you're a trader yourself, if you make investments, what I can offer you. So again, on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursday mornings with my students around 7:30 in the morning, I'm there analyzing the London session for you to see any trades possible that we could take. And then for that day, we'll be looking to take a position. It's usually trades that we can get out of by the evening. So again, if that sounds good to you, reach out to me on Instagram. That's adstar10_FX. Send me a direct message. I'll set you up and get you in that group so you can have access to them Zoom calls in the morning. Again, thanks for watching, guys. If you trade, like I say, if you make investments, hit that subscribe button. Keep up to date with the channel. There's lots of things coming within the next couple of months. And again, guys, a quick shout out to the Absolutely magazine. Go check that out now. Available in all Waitrose and M&S stores. I've been Capital A, and I'll see you on Thursday. Have a great trading week.